what's up everyone? It's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Since it is November, I did want to talk about some nonfiction books on my TBR. I personally think that reading nonfiction can be really important and invigorating. I know that a lot of the times when I read, it is for escapism, but I do find myself a lot of the time really wanting to read something that's like really rich in knowledge. I have read some amazing nonfiction books in my life, and so these are just the ones that I have with me on my TBR. There are definitely a million books that I would love to read. So these are just a few that we own that I wanted to share with everyone. This first one is a booktube favorite. It is Sapiens. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who hasn't read this book yet. I am so fascinated with history and human history. If I could go back to school, I would either major in English or history and archaeology and stuff like that. And so I think that this book is going to be absolutely fascinating and interesting and like world-changing. I hear so many great things about it, and that it's really easy to understand, which for me is really important when I'm reading a nonfiction book, because sometimes I just feel so stupid when I read, and I don't like feeling stupid. So when an author can take complex or interesting information and break it down in a way that is fun to read and easy to understand, that is what I find really great. So I am excited to read this one, and when I do, there will be thoughts. If you do happen to be unfamiliar with this book, it is about human history, like where humans came from on this earth, how they changed over time, how they developed, how our cultures evolved, how different technology brought us to basically where we are today. It's a brief history of humankind. So we go all the way back from the caveman days, the early days, evolving from the sea to, I don't know how far it goes, but I'm just very excited for it. I've heard so many amazing people talk about it. I think it was like Brandon's Bookshelf has talked about it, Rana has talked about it. I've heard so many amazing booktubers talk about it. So definitely is one that I'm excited to read. This next book is one of the few books that I have been able to thrift since coming here, because the English sections in thrift stores are very minimal. And so this book I think I bought back in like July or August, but I found a book about Shakespeare and his life in one of the thrift stores. One of the things that I really loved about it is that it has pictures in it to, you know, show you like who they're talking about, because they are all like real historical places and people. I do know quite a bit about Shakespeare and his life, but I feel like there is always a lot more to learn about him, and he lived in a very interesting time period, and especially in terms of theatrical history, the way that theater was performed back then is very different to now, and this seems to really delve into his life and the world that he lived in, and then also how like the theater ran and how it was created. It also looks very well researched, and there's tons of references in the back, so I really can't wait to dig into this one and maybe learn some new stuff about him and his plays and London, England in the 1500s. One of my favorite Shakespeare facts is that he was the playwright for the Chamberlain's Men, I think. He was the playwright for the Lord Chamberlain's Men, obviously, and that's how he's known, but he also was an actor in the troupe, and one of the few roles that I know of that he played, he was not the lead actor, he played like some of the side characters, and so he actually was Hamlet's ghost, like the dead Hamlet in the beginning of the show. I don't know who else he played in that production, but I think it is hilarious every time I read Hamlet or think about Hamlet now to think that like that is the role that Shakespeare played in that production. I love history. It is so fascinating. The next book I want to read is Meditations. This is one of Hugo's favorite books of all time. It is a short-ish book by Marcus Aurelius, who is a Roman emperor, I believe. He was the emperor of Rome in like the year 161. And it's a reflection of like spirituality, ethics, philosophy, and it's supposed to just have like a lot of really great wisdom in it and some really great information in here. So I am very excited to read this one. And I also really love the cover with the bird and everything. So beautiful. And the last book on my nonfiction TBR I got from Anya at Well Traveled Books, and it is Braiding Sweetgrass, which was written by an Indigenous woman who shares her knowledge in how we can care for the earth. I have heard a lot of times about how life-changing and emotional this book is, and it has been on my TBR since the second Anya talked about it on her channel, and I honestly cannot wait to read about it. I've been very into climate activism and environmentalism the more and more that I like listen to Anya and the people that she talks to and the books that she reads, and she's very passionate about it, and I want to educate myself more and learn more about this beautiful world that we've been given. And I think, like, what better place to look than from an Indigenous person, because they've been caring for this earth much longer than the rest of us. And so I'm so excited to learn what this book has to offer and hopefully gain some understanding and ways that I can be a better human on this planet. So thank you, Anya. I cannot wait to read it. And those are the 4 books that are currently on my non-fiction TBR. I don't know how many I will get through this month, if any, because NaNoWriMo tends to take up a lot of my time, and sometimes reading nonfiction, I really want to be able to delve into the text and take my time with it. So they take me a little bit longer to read normally. But these are all books that I am super passionate and excited about, and yeah. Let me know if you are reading any nonfiction books this November. I would love to hear what everyone is reading. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to view more of my bookish and writing content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.